Gradient of a line is found using the formula y squared minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Gradient, which is denoted using m, is y squared minus y1 divided by x squared minus x1. Now, we find gradient using coordinates, or gradient is found using coordinates. So let's assume we have a set of coordinates as an example. 3, 6, and 6, 12. Now, to make life easier for you, label your coordinates. Every coordinate has an x and a y value. Every coordinate has an x and a y value. So you have an x there and a y there. You have an x there and a y there. Now, because you have two sets of coordinates, call these coordinates 1 and call these coordinates 2. And label the first coordinates x1, y1, and label the second coordinates x2, y2. Now, after labeling like that, then now go back to your formula. The formula says gradient is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Then now substitute. Look at what is the value of your y2. What is the value of your y2? The value of our y2 here is 12. Then what is the value of our y1? The value of our y1 is 6. So it means it's 12 minus 6. Then we now move up, we move down. We look for the value of x2. What is the value of x2? The value of x2 is 6. So we put it here. Minus x1. What is the value of x1? It is 3. Then work it out. 12 minus 6 gives us a 6. 6 minus 3 gives us a 3. Then solving 6 divided by 3, we get a 2. So it means the gradient of this line that is passing through this coordinate, it means it's 2. Then I'll do another example. It's a fairly simple concept like that. You just have to know your formula, and then you just have to know your formula, and then you just have to label your coordinates to make life easier for you. Label your coordinates. Then let's do another example. Let's take -2, 4, and let's say -4, -4 and -4 and let's say 10. Then I said the first thing to make life easier for you, label these coordinates 1, label these coordinates 2. And then we are saying, okay, let me correct here. Our coordinates, I said they are -4 and 10. So we write it like that, -4, -4, 10. So there's no end in between them. So I made a mistake earlier. So then 2. Label that set of coordinates as coordinate 2. Then I said every coordinate has an x and a y value. Every coordinate has an x and a y value. Now, because here we have coordinates 1, So label this x1, y1. And then here, because we have coordinates that we have labeled 2, label them coordinates x2, y2. Then from there, straight away go to your formula. The formula says m, which is the gradient, it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, after doing that, now substitute your values. What is the value of y2? Y2 is here, so y2 is 10. Then what is the value of y1? Y1 is here and it's a 4. So we put it there. Then we continue. We look at what is the value of x2. X2 now it's -4 minus. Then what is the value of x1? X1 is there and it's a -2. Then simplify or solve what you now have. 10 minus 4 gives us a 6. Then down here, we now have -4 minus -2. -4 minus -2. So that is going to give us a -2. Because mathematically, if you have a negative and negative like that, they're going to change and become a positive. So it means we are now here, we are now going to have -4 plus 2. And working that out, you get this -2. So then you can work that out. 6 divided by -2, then we get a -3 equals to -3. So that's it. That's how we find the gradient of a line.